Hey everyone, this is my video on the PS4 unlimited recording time without using the PS4 because it has a 15-minute limit built in. So here are some of the products I use. There's a few more products and I will get to the setup and demonstration next. Hey everyone, in this section I'm going to be talking about the PS4 and unlimited recording times for the video and audio. So PS4 has a 15-minute limit. So I'm using the HDMI cloner box, and there's several of these type of things on the market. Just straight to the cloner box and out to the TV, and that will record it. But you'll find that the audio is a little bit low. You strain to hear. So along with another another thing that happened to me, I used an external hard drive. So that kind of took a lot of power, and it did mess around with the power. So only use like USB thumb drives, solid state. I have a VisionTech 3.0 USB, and it's solid state, 128 gig, 25 gig. So I recommend that. So this records at 1080p and 720p. 720p is 60 frames a second, and the 1080p is 30 frames a second. They've got a new version of this that is far superior. I haven't tried it yet, but there is other things available. So basically, I need that audio from the HDMI to be boosted. That's another reason for my setup. So if you just want to go the cheap route and just get the cloner box, that's fine. But you'll need something else if you want to handle the video just right. So the HDMI powered splitter takes care of a couple of different things. You can just play it without having the recording software and still play your game and not have to worry about if your cloner box is on all day and if it's getting wear and tear if you're not recording. So I have a USB fan that kind of cools everything off. I've got everything on a power splitter plus and I'll get into the raw stereo program limiter later. But all that, those three items, the limiter, the cloner box, and the fan, and I think the HDMI powered splitter are both on a power strip. So let's switch to because the cloner box is pretty easy to use. I'll get into the stereo limiter later. But the big thing is the Xenix 302 USB mixer. It is, without fail, the best purchase I got, because this never fails me when I put it into the PlayStation. So when you get it, it comes with a cord. You put it in the unit and you hook it into the PS4, and that's the power. It comes off of that to power the mixer. Once you have that hooked up, it's ready to configure. So basically, you put your headphones, 3.5 millimeter in here. The buttons here are all in the down position to start with. And then you would put the headphone volume to about 40%, maybe 50. And then the next, we need PlayStation volume. So you'd have it playing, you'd have a video playing or a game playing that you could hear the audio that you want to capture. And you would use the line USB, this knob right here, start at 0 and inch it up until you get to a real comfortable volume for what you want to record and listen to. So with that configuring done, let's go to the maybe some of the extras. You can also put a mic with that has a 3.5 millimeter microphone in here, and that'll take up this space right here. So that is available if you have that. But I have, and you can choose between an XLR cable and a TRS cable, or a 1/4 inch plug. That's mainly for guitars and that sort of thing. But the XLR has the 3-prong, and I have a microphone, so that will set you back a little bit if you go that route. Or there's plenty of cheap $30 TRS mics around that are perfectly fine. So this section right here, this whole section is the microphone, and I do have an XLR. I use an old, out-of-date Samson, but it's clear as clear as anything. So you can choose there. There's also an input here. This is RCA. This will cancel out anything, or no, I'm sorry. This line will take this place. So we don't want to have any RCAs plugged into here because that's the PlayStation volume. We can put a 2-track in there. I'll get to that later. But how this all works is the audio from your game comes into the USB into the mixer. It takes whatever you're talking, and it also sends that back through your game so people can hear you. The cord here is 2 RCAs to a 3.5 millimeter. That is from the main mix, and that's this knob here, and it sends all the audio to the cloner box, or 3.5 millimeter male. So basically you do a recording and see what volume works. If it's too low, raise it, etc. So that's how you get the audio to the cloner box, and in an amplified way, because the main mix is dedicated just for that volume. Now, at any time, you can take your headphones and raise the volume. Like if you're in a situation where you need to hear, okay, someone's sneaking up on you, you can just blast that thing so you can hear enemies before they hear you. Plus, if you're in a squad, you can say, hey, quiet, someone's coming, before anyone hears it. Now, the Pro controllers have boost audio and headphones have amplification, but this setup is more adjustable. Theirs is more on-off type thing. Yours is more adjustable about how you want to hear things. The only drawback I see is this button is in the up position when you're recording or sending the audio to the main mix out to the cloner box. But if you're in a squad, basically what they will hear is echoes. So you need to put that in the down position, so all the buttons will be down. Normally, if you're recording to the cloner box, this one will be in the up position. So that's the specifics on that. And I have it marked here. The Y splitter, that's kind of a fun feature. 3.5 millimeter to 2 females. So I've got my headphones hooked into there, and then powered speakers. So it's basically like the HDMI splitter. But what this does is I've got it to some old Packard Bell speakers, and I can raise the volume on the side of the panel or speaker to, like, if I have the headphones off, I'm focusing on something else while my game loads, or I'm waiting for a game to happen, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I want to do something else, utilize my time, or take a bathroom break, I can turn up those speakers and I can hear what's going on, like, okay, you're in the lobby, you're ready to parachute, or whatever game you're playing starts to activate. So that's the reason for that cord. It's not necessary. The RCA, 2 RCAs to 3.5 will be necessary. You won't necessarily like the volume of just the straight HDMI, because you have the monitor or TV to boost the volume. So it's really kind of low volume. Of course, you can hook your USB into your controller. That leaves you free. Now, the last item is the stereo program limiter. This is not necessary either, but I had it, so I used it. I think normally you'd put like barrels over these wires to cancel out any interference, but I had some interference coming from these cords, I believe, and of course you can correct it pretty easily by stripping it out and limiting or canceling out the noise, but I didn't want that. So if you want to pony up the money for one of these things, it does work. I'll show you how to configure. So it has inputs and outputs, both 3.5 millimeter and RCAs and 3.5 millimeters. So it gives me a lot of choices there. So basically you would put the threshold down to 0, and you would start at 0 and then turn that down. Now, while you have this right here, this cord should be plugged into the RAWs in the input. So the output for right now goes to a PC. So, and that goes into the microphone jack. So this is what we're going to do to set it up. So basically you would turn the mic on, make sure you could hear it live, and then turn this volume or gain knob down. And I hit a sweet spot to where, okay, I could hear static, but then I hit this one area where everything went quiet. So that's perfect. That's where you need to leave it. Take it out of the PC and plug it into your HDMI cloner box, and you've got noise canceling, and you can raise the volume on the mixer here, and this will still cancel out that noise. It's just a quirk of the box. So that's one way if you want to spend the money for that. But that's how I get it all to work, make a good quality MPEG-4, and just keep recording all day long for as long as I want. I've recorded days of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it lasts me a couple days until I have to go either delete all of them, and that's basically I stack all the MP4s on there so I'm not wearing out a one section of the solid state drive. So that's my reasoning for that. And the limiter and the mixer. If you have any comments or questions about the mixer and the buttons, I have other videos for that. Go to my ID band channel for that. But if you have any questions, put it down in the comments below. I hope you liked this video. This is my setup. I hope this helped, and catch you next time.